Hello everyone, Chip Fletcher, Assistant Principal at Union Grove High School, and I'm going to talk about fighting. And I'm going to be very direct and I'm very blunt about this. Fighting at Union Grove High School is not going to be tolerated. The consequences are going to be harsh. We do have a couple of levels, two different levels of fighting: a level 2 fighting and a level 3 fighting. And the main difference with a level 2 and level 3 are there injuries. If there were significant injuries, that could bump you up from a level 2 to a level 3. If there were multiple people involved, or 2, 3 more people involved, that can bump you up. Or you do not stop fighting once an adult comes in and intercedes. If you continue fighting or try to continue on with the act, that can bump you up to a level 3. Now, a level 2 fight, typically what we're going to do with that is we're going to put you out for a minimum of 5 days. That's a level 2. A level 3, that's a disciplinary hearing. Okay.
And I believe we were 100% on our level 3 fighting discipline hearings, where the student was removed and only had the option of the alternative school.
Most of our level 2 offenses are fights. There's different things you can do at level, but most people that get in trouble at level 2 are fights. Now, if you get a second level 2 fight, and that's a fight where punches are thrown, but there are no injuries and that sort of thing. But if you're on your second one, that's going to get you a disciplinary hearing. Again, we're dealing with young people, okay, that they're transitioning, they're getting old, but a lot of them don't quite know how to deal with conflict. A lot of our fights are young men, but it doesn't mean that they don't happen with females, because they do. What we have in place here, if you as a student knows that you're at the brink, you're getting into a fight, it could be a result of what we talked about earlier in the snippet about cyberbullying. It could be that it started off something silly where they were slap fighting, and which they should not be doing. That's horseplaying, and that's why you don't horseplay.
Roasting. They're roasting. They're hanging out.
They call it roasting. Y'all don't know everybody knows what roasting is, but they start kind of they're insulting people, and it's laughing until somebody's feelings get hurt. And sometimes it's just a matter of somebody out there is having a real bad day, and this kid over here who's talked to this student one way throughout the course of the year, on this particular day he wasn't having none of it. There's many different things that can happen here, but again, keep your hands to yourself. The way you talk to people, be respectful in that sort of thing. But fighting here at Union Grove High School, again, is not going to be tolerated. Now, the mediation that we have, that the three of us, the way we do this, usually there's 2 administrators involved in mediation, and it could be all 3 of us. If someone comes to us and says, okay, it's about to hit the fan, he or she is pushing me to my limit, gives us the opportunity to intercede, to bring both parties in, and then we can come up with an agreement that either that there was a miscommunication, misunderstanding, or we're at least going to agree that we stay away from each other. And if we don't, whether we need to use the no contact agreement that we talked about earlier in a snippet, or if they do not follow the directives that are given to us when we mediate, then we're going to give consequences for that, because we told you directly how to handle this situation, and you're choosing to ignore us and continue on with it. So we're not going to put up with that. Real quick.
So again, students, I spoke about this earlier in a different snippet, but again, if you're having those issues, please don't be afraid to come in and have those conversations, because again, I would much rather have a conversation with you how to resolve the issue and resolve the conflict versus me having to call your parents and say, hey, I'm putting you out for 5 days, because so I'd much rather have that conversation. I know that we as a whole would much rather handle and resolve things in that
We've pulled full groups in before, because it was so widespread among a group of students. Again, many times girls, when it's that situation. The boys usually, it's very heated, very quick, and it happens. With the girls, it brews. And so we try to when we hear of that, we try to bring them in and diffuse that situation. But a lot of times, fights happen when somebody approaches another and says, so-and-so said this about you, and then they're facilitating that on both ends, and the whole crew
Hot
comes
stirs.
together, and everybody's got their video, their phones out, ready to video, so that they can expose the entertainment value of the fight.
And do understand too, those pot stirs, if we can determine that there was somebody stirring the pot going from both parties back and forth, there are consequences for that as well.
Yeah, because they are, they're a part of escalating that particular behavior. Okay, so again, we ask that you as parents, help us be proactive in stopping these physical altercations. Up next is our last snippet that we're going to do, and we're going to generally talk about after-school expectations and some issues that we've seen there.